What's up, guys? So yes, I am actually playing as an Earth main for once. It's been way too long since I tried any kind of Earth teams. Deidara gives me that option, and I wanted to use Kisame in a team that could actually work out. I haven't used any sort of really consistent Kisame teams. Every single team I've tried with him so far has been like below average, or it might have like a 50% win chance. So since Kisame is such an exclusive ninja to that point where he really needs a Deidara or a Kakazu or some kind of like special super rare type ninjas to actually work out in lineups, I can actually give this a try. You'll be seeing lots of Deidara teams I'm trying out, and I am pretty much trying to do them on Sage World Battlefield nights, just because that's the most accurate way to get any sort of gameplay and to see if a team works. So what I try to do, and this is the first time I use Deidara too. I end up putting Kisame in the first position, having Deidara as a second. Now, with Deidara, you really want him to be first position, but I was trying to use him as like a decoy in the team. Since most people will target my Deidara, I figured maybe the team could work out if I stall long enough or go with Kisame. But this team was honestly not as consistent as I wanted it to be. It honestly kind of disappointed me a little bit. Also, if I had sun move or even maybe windmill tactics, it would be a lot better because this kind of team isn't really suited too well for ghost kill tactics, at least from my perspective. But as you guys know, Kisame, he has a barrier that interrupts every mystery in whichever round he uses it in. Summons 3 sharks. He also absorbs 20 chakra points for a 20 hit combo. Has super armor. Deidara has ridiculous damage. And it causes ignition and all that good stuff. I mean, he's a really strong ninja. He has very high ninjutsu, so it's just most of the ninjas I always use have been ninjutsu based, so it really helps out. Putting Jinpachi for the clear, since he is literally the only way I can clear any kind of crowd control effects on Deidara, and he also is able to just basically put out an ignition. I mean, it helps out. It's extra damage every single round. And then I have the Earth main, which is such a slow playstyle and I really don't enjoy it. But it's been so long since I used it, so I'm using the Shield's passive as well as the standard. Pose of Duel, so when any ninja has a shield, they'll end up having their ninjutsu and attack boost. Sphere of Grace for the combo. Chakra Wall, so I can give Deidara a big shield round 1 and have the chakra round 2 for his mystery. And then we're running King of Hell because we can get Kisame's chase off. So yeah, running Deidara at position 2 and Kisame at first is honestly probably the best, like not really the best thing I have done, especially with this team. So the lineup does get you 25 max hit combo. If I did have the different tactics pages, I would definitely just be running Deidara position 1. And the team, I just still have yet to use a Kisame team that is just consistently good. But I wanted to get you guys this gameplay out, see for yourselves. The team just has a lot of weaknesses, but I'll show you that when we go into the Sage World side. So with the team in Sage, let me tell you the biggest weaknesses of this team. So the lack of crowd control clearing, it really sucks. I mean, I think this team would work out a lot better if it wasn't an Earth main. So in a future video, I would like to try out the Fire main variant of this team. I'm not really too sure if it could work out as a Wind main too well, but I feel that the Genjutsu Mirror, as well as the Mystery from the Fire main to clear debuffs and protect you, would do a lot better. So another weaknesses of this team would be that it just really gets destroyed by damage over time. So Poison teams and Ignite teams really kill you. It doesn't matter how strong your shields stack up. If Poison and Ignites are based on your actual health, and they'll just keep dropping you. So that's like a really huge weakness. And here I end up just misplaying because I completely forget that Hanzo has an immobilization as a chase. So it ends up getting my Deidara locked up, and it just really screws me in the fight. But another thing that really makes the team annoying to use is you have Deidara's clay spiders as well as Shark Kisame's sharks. So you don't have enough room for all these kind of clones and things that they're going to be summoning. You either prioritize Kisame's sharks to take hits for you, or you prioritize Deidara to do damage if they actually do survive. Um, so it's really just not consistent at all. The team felt really annoying to use because first round you have to chakra wall Deidara, then you have to use Jinpachi, and after you use both of those mysteries, that's your opportunity to Shark Kisame. And if you're not gonna Shark Kisame, then I guess you just save it for another round. But the team just really felt so it was obnoxious to use. I really don't know the word to describe it, but it was really obnoxious having to go through all those kind of mystery choices, and it was just uncomfortable to use. So trying out this team, I feel like it would do a lot better with the fire main, and I will like to use it in the future. Now, people are also gonna tell me to use the healing cancer way of Deidara. Don't worry, I'll be getting to all the Deidara teams you can think of. I even have a lot of them to experiment with. I think it'll be interesting. I know a lot of them will be successful, but then you'll have teams like this where I'm just experimenting and either they work out or they don't work out. So just trying to get a feel for Deidara and how he can work out in teams. But he has really really good damage. He's also pretty much gonna be like one of the best ranked battle ninjas I can use. So I guess the pros of this team, the chases are nice with the 10 hit and 20 hit combo because it can get off a poison because of a King of Hell. You also have ignites on the team. It just sucks that ignites don't stack. I thought there was a time in this game where ignites and poisons both stacked up, but I just guess only poisons stack up to 3 times and ignites don't. But Kisame's chase is also really handy since it absorbs 20 chakra and gives it to you. There is another variant of this team that I would like to try, and that's with running the double standard attack mystery for the Earth main. Just because you'll get the chakra through Kisame's chase, so you would still be able to use it round one. And giving Deidara multiple attacks, it's really amazing to know how much damage it can do. Since he attacks say like up to 4 people or whatever with a standard, and has the clay spiders and a mystery that just nukes. He has lots of damage potential, but you'll see this team is just really not too consistent. I mean, the team is just getting killed, and yeah, I can honestly say I didn't enjoy using this. I'm kind of surprised I won a couple of fights because it was really not working out the way I thought it would. I feel that even if I did have Deidara position 1, it would have given me a slight edge in these fights, but I still don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, the biggest weakness of the team is just how poison and ignites destroy it, and how you have the lack of clearing. So I am testing full-on damage Deidara lineups. There's still, I still would like to use Masked Man and some other ninjas to see how it works. Maybe take out Kisame because he's just such an awkward ninja to use, and I really can't find a good spot where he always works out for me. I think Kisame is just as awkward for your opponent to fight against as he is for you to use, because you can either interrupt and help yourself, or you can interrupt and screw things up for both of you. So it's just, I don't know. I really need to I have to be really patient with Kisame. He's just not really a ninja I'm working out. Here, I was just like, nah, I really couldn't. The team really lacks consistency. It just really does. I feel that it would have done miles better with a fire main. But there's too many conflicts in the team itself. Like, do you see those clones being in the way? Sometimes you'd just rather have sharks, and sometimes you'd rather have spiders. The team felt like a mess. It really did. I don't know. I don't know how else to phrase it. It really left me in a uncomfortable position. It gave me not like the worst Sage I've had this year, but it wasn't even anywhere close to a good one. So, yeah, I can just say that it was just not working out in my favor. But the damage side of it is really good. If only they had the sustain. I guess the only thing I can do is to power up, and when you have a power advantage, it really helps out. But if you're fighting someone with more power than you or balanced out, it leads to very strong and difficult fights. So here I get a rematch, realizing that okay, I'm gonna just wait till after the immobilization goes off and then clear it, and have myself a Deidara mystery to prepare myself. But even that didn't help me. I made sure not to misplay this time around. And it really didn't matter. um, so sadly, the team it just failed me. It really did. I've had a lot higher expectations. It seemed good on paper. Even though I knew that there was not enough crowd control clearing, that would be the biggest issue of it. I wasn't really getting locked up like I thought I would, just because of the teams I was fighting. So at least you have Jinpachi to clear. If you have a team with no Jinpachi clearing, it would not work out. And that's why I think if I was to make any sort of ninja changes to the damage side lineups, I have to keep Jinpachi and I'll have to get rid of Kisame. Or I'll have to get rid of Jinpachi for some kind of crowd control clearing ninja. It's just really not going to work out. But poisons are really something that just destroys you. Even ignites is just too much. You can have the strongest shields in the world, and that alone just destroys it. So Roshi is an instant counter to this team. He'll always make sure that you stay ignited. That was always the way to beat shields back in the day, especially. If you were struggling against people with shields, you had to run poison or ignite ninjas. And that's just the way it worked out. Sage was not as good as I thought it would be. But after all this, I ended up switching the team. I figured, okay, I'm just going to put Deidara first position because he just needs to be up there. He's basically the focus of the team. He's the reason why I win. Kisame is more of a distracting tank with not as much damage as I would hope he has. But I guess for like a utility version of a tank, he's decent. I don't know. I'm still waiting for the day I find a god tier Shark Kisame team, and I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. Or for the day I actually find a Han team that works and doesn't screw me over. But I don't know. This team, I really wouldn't recommend anybody to try it. Like, I would say try it at your own risk. At least this variant of it. Like, don't put Kisame first. It's not going to work out well for you. If you're going to try to team out, put Kisame second, have Deidara up there in the front. But it's going to be a long, grueling process. I'm going to try so many Deidara teams that I might just get sick to the point where I don't want to use him anymore. But he has really high potential. I don't know how long ago he came out, but finally able to get him, it's gonna prove to be a lot of good teams. At least just he fits my playstyle. He does a ton of damage. I'd like to go for more glass cannon builds and especially try out different mains. I think this team would have had a lot more potential if I didn't use Earth main. So that is one thing I would like to revisit. Maybe I still don't think Kisame should be a first position ninja though. I just honestly don't think I would use Shark Kisame first position. That's definitely the mistake right there. Even if I was to use different mains, probably wouldn't use him as the first position. But you guys saw the Sage right there. Not really the best. Wasn't completely the worst, but the team also leads to really long fights depending on who you fight. So what I tried to do was switch things up. So after that Sage, I decided to put Deidara in the first position just to make the team a little bit more consistent. And I have to stick with the ghost kill tactics, so it's what I'm going to have to work with. I'm not going to invest into any other formation. The team has a lot better positioning this way, and since everyone was basically playing against Kisame from when I was fighting, it doesn't even matter if he's second position. I think you could even drop down Kisame to third, depending on which ninjas you have, but he just feels like it shouldn't be a first position ninja from my experience. He should always be second, if anything. Too many people I fight just play against him, and it really just messes teams up for me. But putting it this way, it's a lot more consistent. Everything still works out the same way, the way it should be. And with Deidara being in the first position, it kind of plays more against for your opponents, just because you can actually, if you have the higher initiative on this side, you can get your mystery off without having to worry about being locked down. So I was only able to get you guys Matsuri gameplay, just because there's no Sage until Sunday, and that's when I'm streaming. So fighting off against the Kushina, Shisui, and Minato team, I was really like stressed out fighting this at the beginning. I was like, man, this team is not consistent enough, and I'm supposed to fight it. But the Kisame mystery went off too late. He was able to already get the illusion mirror, and what I was going to do is just, I guess, focus on Kushina. Just because you have Minato to dodge, you have Shisui to dodge. First position Deidara. I guess it's kind of dangerous if you're gonna get focused by standard attacks. I liked having Deidara being behind Kisame since his super armor would protect him. But here, I guess it's just gonna rely on the more damage side. So the nice thing is able to get yourself a Deidara bomb without having to worry about getting hit. And if you do enough damage, you're lucky to kill, because none of the chases have any sort of crowd control. So it's gonna be pure damage based. But you can see here, like, the damage is being pumped out. I already felt from this fight that this team became a lot more consistent with first position Deidara than it was. So it corrected that one mistake I was using from Sage. And, you know, it's going to be a learning curve for me trying out Deidara, just because I never used him before. But then I end up fighting a Deidara mirror match, except he's using the Cancer side, which is something I'm going to eventually use. But I do want to focus on the damage side of things, because it's my sort of playstyle to go just glass cannon and heavily into offense. So Deidara against the Jigokudo and a Sailor Sakura. It's a difficult fight. I mean, it depends on how stacked your opponent is, because they can just keep healing it off, and it really doesn't get you anywhere. Plus, on top of him having heals, you have to worry about surviving, since you can't wipe off the ignites at all, and it's just really a dangerous set. But what I tried to do was just focus on the damage, kill Deidara as fast as possible, and it was working out. You know, even by switching Deidara to the first position, you still have that annoyance of having to Chakra Wall, Jinpachi, then Sharkisame if anything. You know, there was even times where I just feel like you don't even have to Sharkisame. If anything, save it to interrupt somebody's mystery, but I just keep fighting people that play against it. So the surprise factor of having a Sharkisame, or his presence itself, it just doesn't really do anything to me. I rarely run into Sharkisames myself, so he's not really a ninja that you should really worry about. I just really can't find a consistent enough team. Even by putting Deidara in the first position, the team became better, but in this situation, I could definitely see the Fire Main variant being so much better than the Earth Main. You'll lose out on some damage, but you'll gain the survivability, which I need. Genjutsu Mirror will help you out. The mystery to clear. You could even get yourself extra damage because of the ignition and the clone. So you could even do, like, I guess you could try Ninjutsu Urge instead of Genjutsu Mirror, but I think I'd rather much prefer the mirror. It would just help out. So it does lead to long fights. Was only able to get 3 fights from Matsuri, but at least I got you some gameplay with this team, because this is a lot better than the first variant I showed you in this video. It actually corrects a few mistakes, and the nice thing about Deidara will be when I focus on his damage, at least teams that really boost him to how much he can hit, go on full glass cannon. Who cares about survivability but full on damage? He will end up hitting very hard. And there's actually ways to get Deidara to get a lot more standard attacks within each turn. So I still want to try out the extra, well, this team, but with the standard attack mystery to see how that works out. That would also end up giving me an extra clear, which I think the team needs more than a chakra wall. And there will also be ways to get Deidara to hit 3 or 4 times. It really depends on the formation, but it's a lot easier in bonds to get your Deidara to get multiple hits off. And he does insane amount of damage when you actually get him to hit 4 times in one round. But that's going to be it for today's video. Sorry for the lack of Deidara content, but hope you guys are looking forward to the next one.